The interview that started calm and turned into a storm. Elias Crane, one of Britain's most respected dramatic actors, arrived at the Morning Circle studio expecting a polite, friendly, and harmless promotional interview for his new series Iron District. Known for his calm temperament and gentlemanlike behavior, Elias had never been involved in an on-air confrontation. In fact, producers often booked him specifically because he brought peace, charm, and maturity to stressful studio environments. But today, something felt different the moment he walked onto the stage. The studio was unusually tense. Cameras shifted rapidly, the hosts whispered at the table, and the audience murmured in confusion. At the center of it all sat Kaya Dunn, a host known for pushing buttons, challenging guests, and occasionally sparking arguments for ratings. Her reputation wasn't a secret, but no one expected her to test the limits with Elias, of all people. Elias greeted everyone warmly. Kaya responded with a half-smile that didn't reach her eyes. From the moment he sat down, she began firing questions that had nothing to do with his show. Instead of discussing his acting craft or upcoming project, she jumped straight into controversial topics he had never commented on publicly. Elias tried steering the conversation back to the series. Kaya pushed harder. The other hosts, Marla, Terry, and Lee, felt the discomfort spreading across the table. Terry attempted to shift the topic. Kaya interrupted him. Marla tried smoothing the tone. Kaya raised her voice. The tension built like a slow-burning fuse waiting for a spark. Then it happened. Kaya accused Elias of avoiding accountability for something unrelated to him, referencing an online rumor that had already been disproven. Elias froze, not in anger but in shock. The audience gasped. The producers immediately signaled the hosts to calm the situation, but Kaya doubled down, speaking over Elias every time he attempted to explain. For the first time in his decades-long career, the calm, gentlemanly actor felt cornered. Something inside him shifted. He straightened his posture, looked directly into the camera, and said a line that no one on the show, not even the producers, could have predicted. If this is what interviews have become, then I don't wish to be part of it. Silence. Kaya leaned back, stunned. The tension was about to explode, and the world had no idea the next few minutes would become the most replayed moment in Morning Circle history. The clash catches fire. The studio fell into a thick, uneasy quiet. Producers waved frantically from behind the cameras, trying to signal Kaya to change the tone, but she ignored them. Elias sat perfectly still, the tension in his jaw visible even from the audience seats. For a man known for grace and composure, this was new territory. Marla tried stepping in with a softer approach. Elias, we truly want to understand your perspective. Kaya cut her off. No, I think the public deserves honesty. Isn't that right, Elias? Elias exhaled slowly. With respect, Kaya, you're not asking for honesty. You're asking for drama. The audience reacted immediately, a mixture of surprised laughter and murmurs. Kaya looked irritated, but Elias remained steady. For the first time since the interview started, he was taking control. But Kaya wasn't backing down. She shifted forward in her seat. If you can't answer basic questions, maybe you shouldn't be here promoting anything at all. That was the moment everything changed. Elias leaned forward slightly, his voice low, controlled, and sharpened by disappointment. I agreed to an interview on my work, not a character trial based on rumors. If that is too difficult for you to respect, then perhaps the issue isn't with me. The room erupted. Terry rubbed his forehead. Lee whispered, "Oh no," under her breath. Kaya, visibly angry now, accused him of dodging responsibility again, even though Elias had done nothing wrong. The audience shifted uncomfortably. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was a meltdown on national television. Then Elias stood up, not abruptly, not angrily, calmly, almost too calmly. He removed his mic, placed it gently on the table, and looked at the remaining hosts. I appreciate your time, but I won't continue an interview built on hostility. He turned to Kaya. And I hope someday you learn the difference between journalism and provocation. Gasps, applause, shock. Elias walked off the stage. Camera operators scrambled. Producers panicked. The hosts sat frozen, and Kaya stared at the empty chair, realizing she had just created the most viral moment of her career. But the fallout was only beginning. The studio fallout. The moment Elias exited the stage, the studio sank into chaos. The director shouted for an emergency commercial break. The lights dimmed and the hosts exchanged looks that screamed, "What just happened?" Backstage, Elias was calm, too calm. His assistant rushed over, expecting anger or panic. But Elias simply said, "I won't be spoken to like that," and kept walking. Meanwhile, on set, Marla scolded Kaya off mic. "You pushed too far." "That wasn't professional," Kaya snapped back. "I asked questions." He couldn't handle them, but the crew didn't agree. Camera operators, producers, even stage managers whispered about how unnecessarily aggressive her approach had been. The show had never witnessed a walk-off of this scale, especially from someone as respected as Michael Caine. During the break, producers confronted Kaya directly. "You derailed the planned interview," one said. "We told you to stay on script," said another. Kaya rolled her eyes, refusing to take responsibility. When the show returned live, the remaining hosts tried damage control. Marla apologized to viewers for the unexpected disruption. Terry nervously attempted humor that fell flat. Lee tried redirecting to the next segment, but the damage was already done. Within minutes, social media exploded. Clips of Elias walking off were already circulating. Viewers flooded the shows. Hashtag with support for Elias and criticism of Kaya. Memes, reactions, and slowed-down edits spread across platforms like wildfire. Comment after comment read, "He handled that with class. She was way out of line. He didn't walk out. He walked away from disrespect." Back in the green room, Elias's manager checked his phone. "You're trending everywhere," he said. Elias sighed. "For the wrong reasons." But the truth was, the public admired him more than ever. His calm, dignified walk-off became a symbol of self-respect in toxic environments. The studio, however, was about to face the biggest public backlash in its history, the aftermath that shocked the network. By the next morning, the moment had become the #1 trending video across multiple platforms. News outlets picked up the story instantly, labeling it the most awkward interview walk-off of the year. The network executives called an emergency meeting. Their biggest concern wasn't Elias, it was Kaya. Sponsors began emailing within hours. "We do not want our ads associated with this segment. This type of hostility does not align with our brand." The pressure intensified so quickly that the executive producers contacted Elias directly with an apology. "We failed to maintain professionalism. We truly hope you'll return one day." Elias politely declined. Meanwhile, Kaya finally realized the impact of her behavior. Online comments attacked her approach, calling it rude, unprovoked, and ratings-hungry. The network, now fully cornered, issued a public statement. "We regret the conduct displayed during yesterday's segment and are reviewing internal policies to ensure respectful dialogue moving forward." Kaya was asked to take a temporary leave. Everyone knew what that really meant. As for Elias, the situation flipped completely in his favor. His dignity, calmness, and refusal to engage in hostility earned him massive admiration. Streaming platforms boosted promotion of Iron District. His fan base grew overnight. Even public figures praised his composure. But the moment that defined everything was a message he posted on his own account. "Dignity is worth protecting." Even on live television, the post went viral instantly. The walk-off that could have damaged his career ended up elevating it, all because he chose respect over conflict. And Morning Circle? Their ratings spiked for the wrong reason, and the network vowed never to let a host push a guest to that breaking point again. Michael Caine walked off one show and walked straight into a new era of respect.